The Police Minister Bheki Cele continues to engage with KwaZulu-Natal communities through crime prevention Imbizos. Communities are expressing their dissatisfaction with the lack of police visibility in their townships. They are also calling for the recognition of Community Police Forum members. Cele is in Durban's Claremont Township today, and that's where we find eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli, who is following that story. Lethiwe, so we heard yesterday from residents of Umlazi, and today you are in Claremont. What are the unique issues or similar issues that are coming out from residents in that area?
Well, Thulasizwe, there's nothing unique coming out of this Imbizo here in Claremont. Residents basically who are living in these hotspot areas are raising the same things, same issues, mostly having to do with the lack of resources that the police have in these areas. We spoke to a lot of residents in Umlazi yesterday. We spoke to residents here in Claremont as well, who shared that there's not enough police stations, there's not enough police vehicles. A lot of those issues contribute to the crime in these areas, and of course they are considered hotspot areas. Here in Claremont, they were raising issues about drug use and also home robberies, and the residents are basically saying that they're growing tired. Well, they were addressing that engagement with the police minister earlier on. This is what they had to say.
Siyacela transformation ibe khona ezisikhula ekuthenini yona le CPF ikwazi ukufaka ama-program athile azoheha i-youth ngaphakathi. Mhlambe ama-program azokwazi ukuthi afake i-community safety, afake i-basic policing, afake safety in society.
Iy'kole azikho safe kakhulu. Masingacela nje babundosi nihlangane no MEC wa education hlangane nonke. Ake nisifakele i-fencing yangempela ey'koleni. Siyazama singama governing bodies ney'kole ngalama norms and standards amancane. Sivale sibiye sivale opotsho. Uthi uvalile ngakusasa sebewuvulile kwenye indawo.
And, Lethiwe, this is not to make light or, minimize the issues that the communities are raising. It's simply to emphasize the point that the problems are well known and they are replicating themselves in almost every community because of the kind of situation that we face in terms of the similarities of the issues. So in terms of what the minister has had to say then in response to these issues that are well known in each and every community that he goes to, did he have anything extra or new to say to the community of Claremont?
Well, Thulasizwe, I'm actually joined by the police minister right now, Bheki Cele. Minister, thank you so much for joining us at eNCA. Basically, what Thulasizwe is asking me is that, do you have anything new to tell these residents? Because they're raising the same issues, lack of police stations, lack of police vehicles. They're also calling for more policing in their areas because if there's police visibility, there's less crime. Do you have anything to share to make sure that crime in these areas, these hotspot areas that you've been visiting, is decreased significantly?
Well, to start with, Mdluli, Thulasizwe, most of these Imbizo go around is because we are invited by communities themselves. So the time will never come when we are invited by the communities and we say no. eThekwini is one of the very high city when it comes to crime. That's why we spend almost 3 days here, including the Deputy Minister will be here tomorrow down south, Mbumbulu. There are many things to tell the community, but there are many things for them to tell us. Indeed, you will only know better when they tell what they are expecting to happen. But you are also saying to them, these things can't happen all simultaneously. It's a known thing that we have shortage of the members of the South African police in the Republic of South Africa. But you would say to them, these are the resources that we have in terms of the warm bodies. These are the resources that we have in cars, which is easy to deal with that. For instance, when the district commissioner was here 1.5 months back, there was 1 car working at the station we are at Dabega, and 23 of them were not working in garage. 11 of them are working now. So when when you communicate with the community, something comes out, but you also tell them to say, as you communicate with them, there will be police coming out come December 15, 10,000 of them in the Republic of South Africa. Some of them will come to this station. But you simply say to them, you know who are the criminals. Give us those criminals. You say to men, you know that you rape. Because part of having Imbizo is a social mobilization and also involving communities to be part of solution rather than complaining. One must say that we're quite comfortable as they say those things, but especially here in Clermont, they are simply saying we are part of solutions, work with us, and we say as the police, work with us. Indeed, the time will never come where we won't be part of the communities as we're invited by them, or ourselves going to work with them, but also to be answerable. For instance, the previous stats, this station was number 19 in terms of rape and murder, but now is number 7. So we must find out, and also our police to be part of that, to be told if they are misbehaving, and we are able to correct those things together with the community.
There's a lot of things that communities are calling for, and one of the issues that you've raised in that Imbizo is that you don't have the resources or the funds. Where is the money going to come from to help communities fight crime?
Well, as we have said, Mdluli, that we'll have to overstretch those resources that are there. But there is a little bit of difference. As for last 2 years, financial years, we never have a single member or single recruit that was trained at the police stations. So at least this financial year we've got 10,000. That is to go little bit, very little bit forward. Next year we are working between 5 and 10,000, though resources we are told that are there. It doesn't mean that when those resources are not enough, nothing can be done. But we also say to them, they should be part of multiply force in terms of creating structures like CPF, Neighborhood Watch, as they are. We have seen them there working together. But indeed, the state resources are not enough to take on board for every other needs of the various communities. You heard that more things that were raised today here were education matters, things that are happening at schools that are unsafe, not fenced and all that. So those are needs of the community, the health needs, housing and all that. So we'll have to work around, stretch these resources, get a little bit of what, but communities to be called on board to work with us.
We spoke a little about community policing forums. They were also present today in this engagement. And one of their issues when it comes to dealing with the crime in their areas, because they are the first responders when it comes to getting those perpetrators in their environments, they are saying they are not helped by the police enough, and they're also asking for incentives. Are you looking into that?
Well, in the CPF is a structure of the Constitution and the legislation, and it's very clear that it's a volunteer structure. But it is true that you can't expect people not to have the equipment. For instance, things that they speak about is a transport, is a communication which might be their cellular, is their comfort. They say, as we had the minimums, that come winter is cold, come summer is rain. I think we agree in principle that will have to happen. We have tasked the MEC of Gauteng, Faith Mazibuko, as we speak, because they have started dealing with those incentives in Gauteng. She will make a presentation now in November when it comes to MINMEC, and we see that provinces, both national and provinces, what can they do to assist those people. For instance, we have an extra budget for the top 30 stations when it comes to crime, especially murder and rape, and you did see that this station is on the top 30, and then it does fall in the category where the assistance in terms of support for these structures can come soon.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome.
So Thulasizwe, that is the Police Minister Bheki Cele, basically taking us through some of the plans that they have, and is also saying that they will not give up on having these Imbizos because they are very important in terms of having those communication with residents when it comes to finding out exactly the kind of problems that they're dealing with in their areas. He's also mentioned that they will be trying to find ways to assist members of community policing forums because they are very important. They raised some very important issues during that engagement there, saying that they do not have guns, they do not have vehicles, but they are the first responders when it comes to communities having trouble with criminals. So they are asking the police to basically just assist them a little bit more when it comes to fighting crime in these hotspot areas.
Yeah, and that's an important conversation because that's part of the mandate that was given to our new police commissioner, that community policing and community and police relationships will need to be improved. Let's leave it there for now. That's eNCA's Lethiwe Mdluli out in Claremont in KwaZulu-Natal there, tracking that visit by Minister Bheki Cele.